What is your absolutely favorite quote you've heard?
A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for. When you are good at something you will tell everyone. When you are great everyone will tell you.
We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca.
Often, the less there is to justify a traditional custom, the harder it is to get rid of it. Mark Twain.
Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the wants. Listen to the never haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. Shel Silverstein.
Be as you wish to seem. Socrates. This is a solid foundation for life, Imo.
Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, it might have been. John Greenleaf Whittier.
Happiness is to be found along the way, not at the end of the road. Robert Updegrove. Loneliness does not come from having no one around us but instead being unable to communicate the things that matter most to us. Carlu. Might be a word or two off.
It's okay to go through awful places, just don't stop and unpack. I never wonder to see men wicked, but I often wonder to see them not ashamed. Jonathan Swift. Or everything in moderation, including moderation. Oscar Wilde.
The only hypocrite I like is myself.
Have you ever noticed that anybody driving slower than you is an idiot, and anyone going faster than you is a maniac? George Carlin.
There is considerable overlap between the intelligence of the smartest bears and the dumbest tourists. Yellowstone Park Ranger.
Eventually, all our graves go unattended. Conan O'Brien.
One moment of patience, in a moment of anger, can save 1,000 moments of regret.
Never quit, make them fire you. Till the guy who got fired, till the guy I used to work with, name withheld. I was new to the job, having a tough time, and I was really feeling like I wasn't cut out for the work and considering quitting. This guy, who'd been on the job a lot longer, told me that, and while it was simple, it stuck with me. They hadn't fired me yet, so clearly I wasn't screwing up as badly as I thought I was. No sense in beating myself up over something even before the bosses do. If not for him, I probably would have quit and never given myself the chance to actually get better.
Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan "Press on" has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. Calvin Coolidge.
Biology is really chemistry. Chemistry is really physics. Physics is really math. Math is really hard.
The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Or, the more simplified version from Jake the dog. Sucking at something is the first step towards being sorta good at something.
It is possible to make no mistakes and lose. That is not failure, that is life. CPT Jean-Luc Picard.
How lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? Winnie the Pooh.
Any fool can be happy. It takes a man with real heart to make beauty out of the stuff that makes us weak. Clive Barker.
Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Sun Tzu. Edit. I hate to edit a comment that's doing fine on its own, but I just want to say that I translate this as, you can be the very best at something, but if you're not in the right environment to prosper, you will never become all that you could be. I've met a handful of amazing people in life that could be so much more than they are if they only changed their environment.
Something more recent I remember from HBO's Chernobyl series. Every lie we tell incurs a debt to the truth. Sooner or later that debt is paid. Valery Legasov.
When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. The space cloud from Futurama.
If you have a problem, and then you spend a bunch of energy worrying and fretting about it, then you have _2_ problems.
Have you ever been in love? Horrible, isn't it? It makes you so vulnerable. It opens your chest and it opens up your heart, and it means that someone can get inside you and mess you up. You build up all these defenses. You build up this whole armor, for years, so nothing can hurt you. Then one stupid person, no different from any other stupid person, wanders into your stupid life. You give them a piece of you. They don't ask for it. They do something dumb one day like kiss you, or smile at you, and then your life isn't your own anymore. Love takes hostages. It gets inside you. It eats you out and leaves you crying in the darkness. So a simple phrase like maybe we should just be friends or how very perceptive turns into a glass splinter working its way into your heart. It hurts. Not just in the imagination. Not just in the mind. It's a soul hurt, a body hurt, a real gets inside you and drips you apart pain. Nothing should be able to do that. Especially not love. I hate love. Neil Gaiman, The Kindly Ones.
If the world breaks your legs, you go and beat it with your crutch. George Watsky. Edit, my first award. Thank you.
It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Aristotle. Edit, wow, woke up to find that I got my first silver. Thanks, kind stranger. The only reason you should look into your neighbor's bowl is to make sure they have enough to eat.
Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, the don't rape people class. I can teach this in 10 seconds. Look. Never touch. But it's okay to look. Just never touch unless they say it's okay. Random drill sergeant who burst in the room during my basic training sexual assault prevention class.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. Fight Club. If they can make penicillin out of moldy bread, they can make something out of you. Muhammad Ali.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. Andy Bernard, The Office. If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving definitely isn't for you. Stephen Wright.
I do not love the bright sword for its sharpness, nor the arrow for its swiftness, nor the warrior for his glory. I love only that which they defend. Faramir, J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings The Two Towers. Edit, thank you for the gold. Also, this has made me so happy to see how many other people appreciate this quote. It's truly one of my absolute favorites. Trying to work it into a tattoo design.
If you look for the darkness, that's all you will ever see, but if you look for the light, often you will find it. Ira.
Are you having a bad day, or did you have a bad 5 minutes and are letting it ruin your whole day? And #X200B. Honestly got this off an Ask Reddit video, but it's a pretty good one. IMO.
People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. Milne.
For when you're speeding, when you're running late. Better late in this life than early in the next. My grandma, who died of breast cancer, told me this once not long before she died. Has really stuck with me for whatever reason. Edit, wow, thank you for my first gold. Today is a good day indeed. Smile. Edit again, wow, thank you for the silver as well. You guys are the best and wish you all a wonderful day. Smile. The greatest cruelty is our casual blindness to the despair of others.
You are without a doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me. A boat doesn't sink because it's in water, it sinks when it lets the water in.
Greater than there's power in the touch of another person's hand. We acknowledge it in little ways, all the time. There's a reason human beings shake hands, hold hands, slap hands, bump hands. It comes from our very earliest memories, when we all come into the world blinded by light and color, deafened by rightest sound, flailing in a suddenly cavernous space without any way of orienting ourselves, shuddering with cold, emptied with hunger, and justifiably frightened and confused. And what changes that first horror, that original state of terror? The touch of another person's hands. Hands that wrap us in warmth, that hold us close. Hands that guide us to shelter, to comfort, to food. Hands that hold and touch and reassure us through our very first crisis, and guide us into our very first shelter from pain. The first thing we ever learn is that the touch of someone else's hand can ease pain and make things better. That's power. That's power so fundamental that most people never even realize it exists. Skin Game by Jim Butcher.
What is the one thing better than an exquisite meal? An exquisite meal with one tiny flaw we can pick at all night. Frasier.
If you meet 3 assholes before lunch, you're the asshole.
Blowing out someone else's candle doesn't make yours shine brighter.
A straight line may be the shortest distance between 2 points, but it is by no means the most interesting. Doctor Who.
You fucking donut. Of course you don't microwave a salad. Gordon Ramsay.
I guess if you want children beaten, you have to do it yourself. Bender?
Fate rarely calls upon us at a moment of our choosing. Optimus Prime.
Never look down on someone unless you're helping them up. It's easy to look at people and make quick judgments about them, their present and their past, but you'd be amazed at the pain and tears a single smile hides. What a person shows to the world is only one tiny facet of the iceberg hidden from sight. And more often than not, it's lined with cracks and scars that go all the way to the foundation of their soul. Sherilyn Kenyon.
I hate to advocate drugs, alcohol, violence, or insanity to anyone, but they've always worked for me. Hunter S. Thompson.
It always seems impossible until it's done. Edit, Nelson Mandela.
When the Great Library burned, the first 10,000 years of stories were reduced to ash. But those stories never really perished. They became a new story, the story of the fire itself, of man's urge to take a thing of beauty and strike the match. Sir Anthony Hopkins, as Forge in Westworld.
It is not our abilities that show who we truly are. It is our choices. Albus Dumbledore.
Every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life. Peter Gibbons, Office Space. Greater than in the beginning the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move. Douglas Adams, a little late to the party, but this is me and my girlfriend's favorite quote from her favorite book. And that's the thing about people who mean everything they say. They think everyone else does too. The Kite Runner.
Life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not. Ira.
The most important step a man can take. It's not the first one, is it? It's the next one. Always the next step. Dalinor. Brandon Sanderson.
And remember that bad times are just times that are bad. Katrina from Animal Crossing.
Abe Lincoln once said that if you are racist I will attack you with the North. Michael Scott.
Gonna be a good day. Just gonna send it. Larry Enticer.
War is when the young and stupid are tricked by the old and bitter into killing each other. Nico Bellic.
I'm ugly and I'm proud. SpongeBob SquarePants.
We don't have mistakes here, only happy accidents. Bob Ross. During a painting lesson.
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Cool Hand Luke, 1967.
They say evil prevails when good men fail to act. But what they ought to say is evil prevails. Lord of War.
If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice.
I guess we're all someone else to someone else. Calvin's mom, Calvin and Hobbes, Bill Watterson. I just wish more people would realize it, and I wish I would live by it more. It would make the world so much better and less shitty. I believe in a universe that doesn't care, and people that do. Angus, Night in the Woods. Makes me cry every damn time I get to that scene in the game.
Overwhelm them with power, overtake them with grace.
A pale blue. https://2.b/go5fwsblpt8. Carl Sagan. I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer.
Thank you for watching. We publish amazing Reddit stories every day. If you are new to this channel, Please subscribe to keep the dog smiling.